So here he is in robot mode. Starscream in robot mode. There he is. I definitely prefer the robot mode to the alt mode. I never really display figures in alt mode anyway, and I 9 times out of 10 always like a robot mode better. I like the G1 coloring of the Hasbro figure. I definitely prefer that to the Takara, which is more video game accurate. Now let's talk a little bit about articulation for just 2 seconds. Starscream, his articulation is nothing special, nothing fantastic. He's got the basic, out and frontal. He's got 360 movement here. He's got the elbow here. He's got 360-degree movement with his fists. He cannot move his hands back, or his arms back too far because his wings get in the way. His head really doesn't have that much movement. It's got side-to-side articulation. You can't move it up and down or anything like that. There is no torso, hip, any kind of articulation, just because because of the transformation, there's just no way for them to put it anywhere. So they gave him these double jointed pelvic units, and they go so you can put his legs out, to the side and back and forth. You can do ballet if he wants. He's got one bend at the knee. That's it. And his feet just do not move. His feet really don't move. He has no ankle movement whatsoever, which is, that's kind of disappointing, because it wouldn't have been that hard for them to really give him a little rotation or something in the ankles. But you can still get some pretty cool poses out of him. So it's not a total loss. It's just, I think, just kind of laziness on their part as far as that goes. But overall, articulation isn't that bad. You can definitely do some cool things with them as far as posing and whatnot. There's a lot of air in this figure that I don't really care for. That kind of makes him feel light, very light and kind of chintzy, because he's so hollow. But the light piping and the face sculpt, guys, look at that. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little blurry, and I apologize. But that is such nice sculpting. That's what he looks like in the game. I mean, and the light piping really is beautiful. And I know everybody who's done a Starscream review has all said the same thing. Everyone's saying the same thing. Oh, the light piping, But it really just is great. It just looks so good. And kind of, in my mind, makes up for some of the other flaws in the figure. Now, he's small. He's kind of a small guy. When we got Shockwave earlier, everybody said the same thing. Shockwave is a small figure, and if you put them next to each other, they're not the size. Get your gun down. What are you doing? They're not. They're pretty much the same size figure. Megatron's a little bit bigger, but not by much. Starscream's a little guy. I mean, especially you stand him here, you compare him to Voyager, Fall of Cybertron, Soundwave. He looks tiny. He looks absolutely tiny. And for $15 for such a small little dude, that's a little steep. I was not too happy to pay so much for him, but at the same time, I really wanted this guy, so I snagged him. I dig him. I think he's cool. Do I think he's worth picking up? Yeah, I do. He's actually my favorite Starscream. He's my favorite Starscream that I own now. Actually, just because I'm personally partial to him. But I won't. He definitely does have. He's not perfect. But yeah, I would definitely say pick him up if you find him, if you see him, if you get the chance. Definitely pick him up. He's definitely cool. Great for any collection, especially if you're collecting the Fall of Cybertron figures and you've got Megatron and Shockwave and everybody. You gotta have Starscream. You gotta complete it. You can't have Megatron without Starscream, in my mind. So until next time, all hail Megatron.